Welcome back to another live feed on Sheldon's YouTube channel. Terminator 2 Judgment Day. It's the sequel to obviously the iconic movie Terminator 1984, the second installment. It came out in 91. The film the malevolent artificial intelligence Skynet so Terminator highly advanced killing machine back in time to 1995 to kill officially of the human resistance John Connor when he's a child. Resistance sends back advice advanced, reprogrammed Terminator to protect Connor and ensure the future of humanity. So Linda Hamilton was in the movie. Mark Schwarzenegger obviously was in the movie. Robert Patrick, James Cameron directed the film. Charles Star Pictures distributed. It was released on July 1st, 1991. Century City in the United States, July 3rd, 1991. On a budget of $94 to $102 million budget. The box office did well, 519 to 520.9 million. So the Terminator was considered a significant success, enhancing Schwarzenegger's and Cameron's careers. Work on a sequel story because the monster between the pair and Hemdale Film Corporation, which partially owned the film's rights. So in 1990, Schwarzenegger and Cameron persuaded Carolco Pictures to purchase the rights from the Terminator. Producers Gale and Hurd and Hemdale, which was financially struggling. The release date was set for the following year, leaving Cameron and Wisher 7 weeks to write the script. So principal photography lasts for October 1990 to March 1991, taking place in around Los Angeles on an estimated $94 to $102 million budget, making it the most expensive film ever made at that time. So visual effects that was advanced individual light and magic, which included the first sense of a computer-generated main character and a blockbuster film, resulted in a scheduled overrun theatrical prints. But not delivered to the theaters until the night before the release on July 3rd, 1991. So, Terminator 2 was a critical commercial success. It grossed 519 to 520.9 million at the box office to become the highest grossing film of 1991 worldwide and third highest grossing film of its time. The film won several accolades, including 4 Academy Awards, 2 BAFTAs. Terminator 2 merchandise includes video games, comic books, novels, Terminator 2 3D, Battle Across Time, a live action attraction. But Terminator 2 is considered one of the best science fiction action sequel films ever made. It's also seen as a major influence on visual effects in films, ushering in the transition from practical effects to reliance on computer-generated imagery. The United States Library of Congress selected it for preservation in the National Film Registry in 2023. Although Cameron intended for Terminator 2 to be the end of the franchise, it was followed by several additional films: Terminator 3 Rise of the Machines, 2003, Terminator Salvation, 2009, Terminator Genesis, 2015, Terminator Dark Fate, 2019, as well as the television series Terminator the Sarah Connor Chronicles, 2008, 2009. Well, as production is concerned, Terminator had been a big surprise for us. The hit that it became, only $78.4 million against a $6.4 million budget, confirming Arnold Schwarzenegger's status as lead actor and establishing James Cameron as a mainstream director. Schwarzenegger expressed interest in the sequel, saying, "I've always felt we should continue the story I told Cameron right after we finished the first film." Cameron said Schwarzenegger had always been more enthusiastic about a sequel than he was, because Cameron considered the original complete story. Discussed to make a sequel stalled until 1989, in part owing to Cameron's work on other films like Aliens and The Abyss, but also because of a dispute with rights holder Hemdale Film Corporation. Hemdale co-founder John Daly, against Cameron's wish, had attempted to alter the ending of the Terminator, nearly resulting in a physical confrontation. So a sequel could not be made without Hemdale's approval, as Cameron had 750% of his rights to the company to get the Terminator made. Cameron had also sold half of the remaining stake to his ex-wife, Gail Ann Hurd, producer and co-writer on the first film, for $1 following their 1989 divorce. By 1990, Hemdale was being sued by Karen Schwarzenegger Heard and special effects artist Stan Winston for unpaid profits from the Terminator. So, with a scheduled release date, Cameron had 67 weeks to write the sequel. He approached his frequent collaborator, the Terminator co-writer William Wisher, in March 1990. The two spent 2 weeks developing a film treatment based on Cameron's vision. It's a form of relationship between John Connor and the T-800, a concept Wisher believed was a joke. Wisher developed the first half of the treatment at Cameron's home over the course of 4 weeks, while Cameron worked on the latter half. Cameron and Wyatt Wisher analyzed the first film to help envision such each character's development and evolution. Cameron believes Sarah's knowledge of the future would actually force her to associate with survivalists, become a self-sufficient commando. Instead, the story began with Sarah. John is placed with a foster family to increase tension. They spent 3 days refining the script for flying its con, where Terminator 2 was announced in early May 1990. Schwarzenegger became interested in reprising his role after finding the character more complex than in the previous film. Schwarzenegger earned $12 to $15 million for his involvement. The planned 3 months of pre-production was reduced to meet the release schedule. Leaving Cameron without time, he wanted to prepare all aspects before filming again. Over a week, he spent several hours each day choreographing vehicle scenes with toys, cars, trucks, filming the results, and printing the footage for storyboard artists. There was no time to properly test practical effects before filming. So if effects did not work, the film makers had to work around them. So principal photography began on October 8th and 9th, 1990 with a $60 million budget. So the film production was in many locations around Los Angeles. The only estimated cost to produce Terminator 2 had been $60 million, dwarfing the budget of the first film. So it was a 10-month schedule. About 15 to 17 million of Terminator 2 budget was allocated just for special effects, including $5 million for the T-1000 alone. The Sony theatrical season, spanning from mid-May to early September, was expected to witness some strong competition among studios. 55 films were slated for release, compared with 37 in 1990. Release dates underwent frequent changes as studios aimed to evade direct competition and optimize their films' chances of success to compensate for the 20% increase in film production costs since 1990. This increase was partly attributed to hefty salaries demanded by stars who also claimed a portion of the film's profits. Moreover, revenues from box office receipts, video sales, and television network deals were on the decline. The film scheduled for release included City Slickers, The Naked Guns 2.5, The Smell of Fear, Only the Lonely, Hudson Hawk, The Rocketeer, What About Bob, and Point Break. Terminator 2 was among the films expected to do well, along with Backdraft, Dying Young, and the year's predicted top film Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves. It was also seen as having strong international appeal. As far as marketing and promotion, Schwarzenegger was involved in Terminator 2's marketing and merchandising campaign, which was estimated to be worth at least $20 million. 1991 for Terminator 2 was ubiquitous with high audience recognition despite its US R rating, which restricted the film to audience age 17 and over, unless accompanied by adult, which was mainly aimed at children. The premiere took place on July 1st, 1991, at the Cineplex Odeon in Century City, Los Angeles. Celebrity that was in attendance. According to Fedor, it was treated as a major event like the premiere of The Terminator, during which the audience was skeptical and laughed at the wrong times. Celebrities in attendance included Whoopi Goldberg, Billy Crystal, Maria Shriver, Nicolas Cage, Sylvester Stallone, Stanley Stone, Michael Douglas, James Will, Ice-T, and for Lord's date, Soleil Moon Frye. It opened in the United States and Canada on July 3rd, leading into the holiday weekend under Independence Day. Had the highest grossing Wednesday opening with 11.8 million. Between Friday and Sunday, the film grossed 31.8 million from 2,274 theaters and an average of $13,969 per theater, making it the #1 film of the weekend, of The Naked Gun 2.5. In the second weekend, Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves in its fourth. Over the first day holiday weekend, Wednesday to Sunday, Terminator 2 grossed 52.3 million, becoming the second highest opening 5-day total ever beyond Batman's 57 million in 1989. It set a record opening for R-rated film for Independence Day weekend. The opening weekend audience was evenly split between adult, teenagers, children, about 25-30% of whom were women. And the TriStar said the figure was higher. It retained the #1 position in its second weekend, grossing 20.7 million ahead of the debuts of 101 Dalmatians and Boys in the Hood, and Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey, 101 Dalmatians. It remained the top 5 highest grossing films for 12 consecutive weeks and the top 10 highest grossing films for 15 weeks. Terminator 2, Judgment Day, spent about 26 weeks and 30 in a total of 2,495 cinemas. Grossed 204.8 million, making the highest grossing film of the year. Held Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, Beauty and the Beast, The Silence of the Lambs. This also made to the 13th highest grossing film of its time, behind Back to the Future, the highest grossing R-rated film. Terminator 2, Judgment Day instead made it to have a worldwide total of 520.9 million, making it the year's highest grossing film, the third highest grossing film ever. 1977 Star Wars, 530 million. 1982's E.T., the extraterrestrial, 619 million. Got critical acclaim. That's basically it, man. It's a lot to cover. I covered enough. The legacy of this Terminator 2 movie is that it's considered a highly influential film, setting a benchmark for sequels, action set pieces, and visual effects. Cameron's special effects supervisor Vince Vaughn said the groundbreaking special effects in Terminator 2 demonstrate the possibilities of computer-generated effects that without it, effects focused films such as Jurassic Park would not have been possible. So his influence on special effects is probably as the most important special effects film since Tron in 1982. Marking the start of an era of reliance on CGI effects from films such as Jurassic Park and The Matrix. It remains as a 2023 Schwarzenegger's highest grossing film. It was the most expensive film made in its time. $94 to $102 million budget. Very expensive. And Hamilton and Sarah Connor became regarded as one of the greatest, most influential cinematic female action heroes, an iconic character. Patrick T. 1000 considered one of the most iconic cinematic villains. So this thing is critically acclaimed, man, album, movie ever made. Alright, so that's it, man. Look at this film from back in the day, 35 years ago, Terminator 2 Judgment Day. Be back with one more live feed, and that'll be it for the day. Till then, talk to you at the bottom of the hour.
Every part of my day essentially revolves around